Hey guys, this is Trex here at SOE Live 2014, and I'm here with Jens Anderson, our creative director for DC Universe Online. And I want to introduce you guys, if you didn't see the keynote, this is Josh Hackney. He is our new Director of Development. Welcome to the team.
Thank you very much. Really excited to be here.
Yeah, so you're going to be active on the forums, right?
Yeah, I've already jumped in a little bit. You might have seen me here and there, but over the course of the next few months, I'll probably be in there a lot more, especially as the new UI comes on board.
Excellent, excellent. So the purpose of this video is Mess was allowed me to actually ask you guys. You guys tweeted me your questions.
Wait, this is a hot seat interview. This is you're telling me now this is a hot seat interview while we started recording?
Mep said this.
All right.
Mep said you guys are ready.
These are all going to be awesome questions for Josh. I know it.
And I want to say this now. You guys tweeted me your questions. If the guys can't answer them, then they're allowed to pass, because it might be something they can't. They can't talk about it or anything. But
how many times can you say pass fast?
There's 19 of these things. So good luck.
Okay, good.
All right. So the first one is. Let's see. Actually, I just messed this up a whole bunch, but I was so unprofessional. All right, so the first one is, will there be a minigun in the munitions power set, or is it too early to say?
It's a little too early to say specifically what kind of weapons you'll be bringing to bear in the munitions power set.
Okay.
The examples that we give when we're talking about it on a creative standpoint are like rocket launchers and miniguns and things that really are going to make it feel different. You know, I saw a lot on the forums about like, well, this is just gadgets, and they already have rifle, and we have dual pistols, so this is nothing new. That's not the case. We wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't something new. The same controversy kind of arose when we were doing Celestial, and everyone said it was just going to be sorcery, and obviously that turned out to be a bunk argument. So you can count on munitions being very unique and very cool, having a lot of feel and things to it that are not already in the game.
Okay. Next one we have. Actually, this person was, this is Frost Winters on Twitter. Confused about the DLC component parts. Will I get all the parts when they released if I buy the whole DLC pack from Steam? I think this comes from when you were talking about the DLC parts where it was listed the Legends and PvE and all that stuff.
There was some confusion about that. Josh, this is a good question for you if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, they will be split. So as you've seen actually in the last two DLCs, you've been able to go ahead and when you purchase, you got all that content. And Halls of Power is pretty much the same. You know, Skimming, which we announced, is coming out in the next few. And as a member, it'll be consistent across the board. So any legend you're getting access to, we've already been doing that for quite a while, that you can earn them in game through March. But you'll also have access to those power sets and player packages automatically as a member. You will be purchasing those individually as a premium or free player, though.
Okay. And as far as release cadence, there was some confusion that like, wait, so I just buy all them if I want the whole thing, I just buy them all individually at the same time. They're not releasing at the same time. So the whole point is to give you more unique things and fun stuff to play with throughout the year. Yeah. So you consider what normally is in a DLC of the past, it was all bundled into one, released day and date with each other. These things aren't going to be released separately day and date. They're going to be released month after month after month after month. And so you're just going to start seeing things coming in all the time. Sometimes it might even overlap. You know, we might have a Legends character coming out very soon after a DLC content releases, or a new superpower comes out. It's not like it's going to be one thing a month necessarily. They could start stacking and overlapping.
That's exactly right. I mean, what we've definitely seen is that everybody jumps in that first day on a DLC, and that first week or so, you get really excited with all the stuff you can play with. Being able to go ahead and get in there for a DLC that first month, and then maybe it's new Legends, and when Legends PvE that you can run through, that'd be really sweet with the event that's coming up. And then the month after, you're going to have a new player package, new power, or something else, and then you're back on a DLC. So we start filling up more and more of the spaces in between DLCs with things that you really want to play, and kind of spread those things out, so there's always something interesting going on in the game.
Especially with the free update stuff and things that come out simultaneously as well, like survival modes and seasonal events and things like that. And you layer that all on top of the DLC components, and you know, you've got something fun and new to do all the time in DCUO.
Okay. And then we next one is, what's the future of stealth?
What does that mean?
I have no clue.
It will remain hard to see you when you do it. I don't know what the question is.
And then another one from the same person is from Astro Johnny. Will munitions have a UAV drone similar to Battle Drone? Hashtag hint.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks for the suggestion. We're still working on the power. I mean, it's not something, like I said, it's too early to say on those kind of specifics.
Okay.
But it is definitely more in the vibe of conventional weaponry than it is like with gadgets and inventions and things like that. And we have the mobile turret and everything like that with gadgets. So I don't imagine right now it's going to be a pet class, but it is too early to tell.
Okay. Here we are from at Zen Engine. Legends PvE, playable characters pre-selected based on content, or can we choose from the entire roster if already unlocked? Actually, that was already answered at the Legends PvE panel, or Legends PvP. So be sure to tune into that video. That's already been answered.
Good.
Look at there. We already did it.
Pass.
Pass on the easy one.
Yeah.
This is from at PRDS97. Why choose now to make a new movement mode? Even though it's really not new, it's just really kind of a reskin, as you said, right?
Yeah, it's a flight variant, and we want to do more variations so that people can have a unique feel to their character and not necessarily have some kind of perceived advantage, especially because a lot of the power or the movement modes that are in the game right now prior to skimming are free to play, launch stuff. Anybody can have them. So I don't want to introduce another one that then offers, like I said, some kind of perceived strategical advantage or something like that. It's just a vanity choice. You can play the game just as well with the 3 launch player power or movement modes as you can with these movement modes that we're adding after.
All right.
So because it's really a flavor thing. I hear a lot of people asking about, I want to put both arms up or have both arms down. And, when we start thinking about that, well, okay, how would we want to do that? Because we have this other concept for movement mode appearance items that we want to do, and we kind of look at, okay, what new movement modes, movement mode variant, movement mode appearance item, how do they all actually logistically fit together and become an extensible system that you can work on over time? And so that's why we went that route.
Okay.
So it should be cool because you're going to be able to just and we'll have more of them too, I'm sure, because the way we're doing them here too, they're more efficient for us to implement in the sense we don't have to do all these races again and have all the feats again, and then there's perceived power that comes with that because now you're forcing me to buy a movement mode respec token because I need to get those feat points right now. And we want people to understand that this isn't some kind of money grab or something to do this. We want you to realize the character that you have in your mind's eye and give you the ability to do that by just going beyond the 3 movement modes that we have right now.
So because it's just a variant skin for flying, is it going to be tied into a DLC or is it going to tie into an update or too early to tell?
Just straight up update.
Oh, awesome.
So look for that coming right around the corner, actually relatively soon.
All right, excellent. Then will there be new features like maps and game types added to PvP?
Say that again?
Game types, new maps and game types to PvP.
New maps and game types to PvP. Well, we add new maps all the time. In fact, we just added a new map for our Legends tournament here at
that's right, Ace
SOE
Chem's
Live.
2v2.
2v2 Ace Chem. So, we like to, do new maps a lot. I don't know about new times, what that means.
Types.
Oh, types.
Yeah,
types.
I lost my voice at a party.
Well, so in the keynote, I talked about on my wish list that I had some stuff I wanted to do with multi-mode arenas. In other words, being able to have capture and hold nodes so that there was some strategic choices you could make about leaving certain areas and still score points, but leaving that point vulnerable to capture as opposed to everybody just stacking up on the one area.
Okay.
And so, we would like to do stuff like that, but it is a wish list item right now and things we want to strive for in the future.
Okay. And then this is actually something that I answered, but you guys can probably put more relevance to it. Player packages. They were mentioned in the keynote as part of a DLC, but never elaborated on what are they. I think after talking with you.
Yeah, it's powers, utility belt. It's all those additions to how you can go ahead and make your character more unique that we've been putting
the
into
movement
the
mode variant.
Yeah,
movement mode variant would be one.
Which, by the way, I wanted to clarify. You had said update on that, but it's not a free update, right?
Oh, that. That's true.
Pez Fedora said.
That's true. It will come out at the same time.
Yeah.
Obviously, during updates in between the DLCs, we've been putting more things on the marketplace.
Yeah.
It will go on the marketplace for non-members at the same time with a game update as
a member.
As
right,
a member
who get access to it.
Okay.
Will
get access to it.
Excellent. Yeah.
I wanted to clarify that.
Good catch. So, I mean, if you guys watch the design with the devs panel that they did last year and even this year, design with the devs panel really says how you guys organize the player content, which are the player packages, which was a term that was used constantly in those panels. All right, so let's see. Any possibility for player studio customization in DCUO, and will level 1 through 30 get more love?
Why don't you take the first part?
I already know. I just can't talk about it. I'm under that NDA.
Honestly, so the whole company, Sony Online Entertainment, has this huge initiative for user-generated content. It's manifested most noticeably in our Player Studio, initiative, and we are on DC Universe Online. We're one of the few titles at the company that actually have a licensed partner that we need to work with. Yeah. And so everything that we do that we add to the game has to go through their approval, which is absolutely understandable, right?
Yeah.
This is their brand, and we're stewards of the brand, and it's important that we represent it. And because we represent it, we can't just add willy-nilly anything that our players want to put into the game. So this is something we have to work out with WB before we can even really consider it and opening it up to the players, as much as we would like to just go ahead and say, yes, we can't right now.
We are very much behind it. We know that players really want it. The WB and working with DC in particular. And then there's the other side of it, which is actually SCA and SCE and the rest of the PlayStation family. And it is there's a lot of moving parts and pieces that need to be dealt with. We're obviously always striving to be able to expand what type of content and the types of things that people are looking for into the game, and obviously player generated stuff is one of those things we're really excited to do. It's just dealing with the machinations that he's talking about, having to get through those and making it happen. So we still see it for the future.
And then content level 1 through 30, will it get some love?
I mean, we just did a major pass on content 1 through 30 when PS4 launched, so it has had a significant amount of love in terms of, addressing a lot of feedback that we got from players when they were going through and leveling their characters, risk versus reward, balances, just all kinds of things that we were putting into the game. As for adding another mentor, if that's what people mean, and a new city to level up in, and I can pretty much guarantee that's not going to be happening.
Yeah.
We have a significant amount of content that we allow you to play through up through level 30, and we need to just focus on, we certainly want to tighten some things up. I'll tell you right now, one thing that will see some love eventually is the tutorial and the new user experience going into the game. We need to do a much better job early on of getting people to understand the major core concepts behind the game, how to use their character, making sure they don't get potentially lost right in the beginning.
Or broken gear.
Yeah, that was a little ridiculous,
right?
Wasn't it? I mean, ridiculous on the front that it could happen, but I got to put the mirror the other direction too and go, how did you do that? How did you actually manage to make that happen? That is literally a first, and we've been live for this long, I think.
Yeah.
So pretty crazy. Anyway, we do need to fix that. We've been actually talking about that here at SOE Live behind the scenes, and they're like, I know how we need to fix that. We just need to change this gear to that, and that should be good. But,
yeah.
All
right. Is there a social menu or chat update in the future?
Well, all of our menus are going to be updated. You want to talk about the UI a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we you talked about it a bit in the keynote, and we're actually going through. I know we've been promising and talking about doing it, and PS4 was going to be our big new UI. Obviously, trying to get a whole console launch and a new UI, just the parts and pieces wouldn't come together in time. So we've kind of gone back to the drawing board right now, and we've been sharing, what a quick look at some of the wireframes are going to be, and we're starting from the ground up. We're actually going back down to the middleware and making sure that what we put in and how we put in is not just clean, usable, and smooth, but it's also very performant, and it will hopefully save us some memory in the long run as well, which is always a big deal, especially the PS3. So we're starting to go through that. We've been working for a couple months on just what the layouts of the screens are, what's included, the flow that a player is going to have when you go into the broker or when you deal with your inventory. And in the coming weeks, we're going to start putting up a screen at a time, and giving some suggesting what we're looking at and why we're proposing to go ahead and lay out screens in a particular way, and then asking the community to give us feedback. What are we missing? Did we forget about a particular flow or a nuisance that somebody's having? And obviously some of the things that you're talking about, whether it's chat or other social menus, those all will go through that as well.
Okay. Will there be enough of the new preloaded memory to introduce a new weapon in DCUO in 2015?
Could be. It all, it's all how we choose to use it, right? And animations are arguably the most time-consuming and expensive thing we have if we're talking about player power, special effects versus, weapons which require animations and things like that. We don't have any plans right now that we're talking about a new weapon at this point. New weapons have other costs associated with them as we go forward. So a superpower gets released, and it's released. It's done. A weapon gets released, and it adds to the amount of weapons you need to do whenever you introduce new weapon sets. Now you have to do one more. You add 2 weapons on top of that. You're doing 2 more. So there are long-term ramifications that you have to deal with certain player package upgrades, and with others you don't have to deal with them. So weapons are one of those that you have to deal with for a very long time. You need to support them. You need to actually go back and put them in the leveling process all the way up as well. Yeah. And so it's just that particular one costs more, and I don't mean just dollars cost, although there is associated with that. It just takes more time, and it's a lot harder to get something like that in the game. So we're focusing right now on superpowers. That honestly seems to be the thing that people want most of all.
Yes.
Shield was cool. And we liked doing it. It was the first one we did, but it's nowhere near as popular in terms of player excitement and adoption as something like a new superpower is.
Amen to that. All right. I'm guessing this is actually probably towards the atomic power. Sweet. Will it be instant heal or heal over time like nature?
It's too soon to tell.
Gotcha.
Right now. Yeah, that one's even further out than munitions.
Why not make aquatic powers?
Aquatic? I've never heard it quite.
We've always
said
heard
like
water.
that.
We've
like
always heard
water,
water.
like aquatic, like
Flying dolphins.
like is it like growing gills and webbed hands, or what does that mean? Does he mean water? You think?
I can only guess.
Hoseway 67. Sway and hose since 67, maybe? I don't know what that is.
I don't know either.
Moving on.
Yeah.
What's the time frame for the new troller power?
Munitions?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think we have a date on that as of now. And we might have something slotted into a month. I certainly wouldn't announce it at this point.
Right.
But I will say that this is the great thing about what we're doing with the DLC components is that it will go out when it is ready. We certainly have a target date of when we want to get it done, but it's not hooked up to all these other things that need to be done too. So when we feel confident that it's right, polished, balanced, has all the things that it needs to make it unique and truly deserve a place amongst the other powers in there, it will come out.
Okay.
And then he will tell me when we get off camera, no, it's blank. No.
All right, so this is actually in coinciding with the skimming. When will my Earth tank be able to fly around on a giant rock?
Oh, well, so I mentioned, we have skimming coming to the game. The actual single giant rock is actually really problematic when it comes to actually using your movement mode in combat, because your feet are now on top of, when I'm actually doing the rock and I get knocked down or I need to get back up. When we have flight, we can turn it on and off, and there isn't an object there that we need to spawn and despawn. With the objects actually attached to both feet like they are in skimming, it's seamless because you can move the feet independently with the animations. Suddenly when you have like a thing you're surfing on and standing on with 2 feet, they need to be anchored properly to make it work right, and all of a sudden everything gets super complicated. So we are probably not going to introduce something like that, like a surfboard or a skimming, a saucer that you fly on. The skimming is really how we're aero disc, how we're doing that. Now, movement mode appearance items, which is the thing on the wish list, which I know you like, right?
I love it.
You love it.
I love it.
What we want to do is target actually superpower enhancements to the movement modes that we have. So when movement mode appearances go in, we want to be able to allow you to upgrade your aero discs to Earth. Underneath your feet, or mental discs underneath your feet, or flaming, emanations from your feet that are actually keeping you up. And the same thing with super speed, acrobatics, and with flight. You'll be able to actually tweak those out toward the individual superpower and theme it to your character. Or if you want to go hybrid, it doesn't have to be to the main power that you're using. So you can be an earth flyer, but a fire guy.
Okay.
So all kinds of things like that would be really how the system is designed to work. Get you more cross power influence or something that's totally themed from top to bottom.
Yeah, I know my Vengeancer brothers are going to have to ask this. Like, can we get Rambo underneath our feet? It was going to have to either be asked by me. Wouldn't you like to be by me or Grid or Soul?
Senorita Sparkles wants to know.
Yeah, she just mentally told me. She wanted me to ask that.
Well, never say never. I mean, we certainly put things in the marketplace like water skins and astral skins and all kinds of things like that. So having like an astral, disc underneath your feet wouldn't be unheard of. And if enough people want rainbow powers, we could do that. Maybe next April 1st.
No, movement appearance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
YouTube's going to eat that up. You know that.
That's fine. That's fine. I look forward to another Downfall Rainbow Power movie.
Did they say when the Legends are coming?
Kyle, we haven't announced Kyle's release date yet, have we? Oh, no, actually, Kyle's coming in 41, I believe? 41. Yeah, 41. And then Guy we haven't announced, and Green Arrow we haven't announced yet.
Okay.
But as you know, we did announce that we have, in this order, for now, Blue Lantern, Kyle Rayner, Red Lantern, Guy, Green Arrow, Deathstroke, I believe then Shazam, Flash, Shazam, Black Adam, and Gorilla Grodd.
Okay. And on a personal note, I cannot wait to play as Black Adam.
Cool.
Cannot wait. You might get me to Legends PvP on my PS3.
Okay, all right, good. Well, hey, you can always play him in Legends PvE when we get that out.
God, I can't wait. Let's see. Also, any word...
Just not in Kondak, because you can't beat up yourself. That would be weird.
No, never. Also, any word if the new movement mode or powers are free. I can... Oh, we just touched on the movement mode a little bit, and the powers...
Well, let's clarify.
Okay, clarify.
No, they're going to be members will notice no difference. Like if they were part of a package like they were before, they will have access to them as part of their membership benefits. And free players will need to actually purchase it if they want to take advantage of it. But like we said, it's a variant. Flight is sufficient. You don't need it. Doesn't have any feats or anything like that associated to it.
Right.
It's just there for you to look cool and different and, create a character concept that you like.
All right. Will we ever get to see newer DC characters in this game like Earth 2 Maddie, a.k.a. Val Zod?
I mean, again, the game's going to be going on for so many years, so it's to say no is silly.
Yeah.
Right? But... we certainly have a backlog of other characters that people have been clamoring for to see more in the game, and that's not one of them right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, never say never. New 52 stuff, characters introduced specifically in the New 52 would probably be really weird in our game, just because we are not necessarily part of that canon.
Yeah.
We're more of the classic kind of storylines and stuff.
We are in the multiverse, just
right.
somewhere else.
It would be weird to all of a sudden see Talon show up in DCUO, despite how cool of a character that is. Now, we did do Talon-inspired New 52 gear out of the Prometheum lockboxes.
That's right.
But, seeing the actual character and the Court of Owls, we'd have to figure out, well, what does that really mean? What kind of ramifications does that have and tie-ins does it have to the New 52 specifically?
Yeah. I know Decon asked us when during the keynote, when we talked about the new Legends styles for PvP Season 3, heroes getting Nightwing inspired and villains getting Hush inspired. Will that include a trench coat?
Yeah, Hush has a trench coat.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You're happy. You're welcome, Decon. He's giving me crap about it, saying, it's like, can you confirm? And I'm like, I'm not in front of him to actually ask that.
Hush
but I would
trench
think.
Coat. Yeah.
What's Link Death?
Oh, go ahead.
Great. So right now, actually, you can see it in a number of games, but when you get disconnected, if you're on the PS3 or PS4 and you get dropped, either from the PSN network or for whatever reason, you follow the game, and when you log back in, you're not in that instance. You're not where you were to begin with. And so Link Death is basically a time where we keep track of where you were. And for a period of time, if you log right back in, you'll get back in that instance. You'll be with that group and be able to continue the content. Obviously, this has been a big deal, especially for something like Survival Mode when that came out.
Yeah.
You spend, an hour and a half, and all of a sudden, one or two or three or four of you guys drop. Can't get back
Happens.
in.
Internet game, online gaming.
Yeah, it happens. And just the ability to get right back in where you were. And I think it's one of those things that everybody wants. Going to make your experience that much better.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's been back and forth on, it came to live, and then you guys had issues with it, you took it away, and then it was recently on test server, I believe, during Halls of Power, and I was like, well, how am I actually going to test this? Oh, wait, boop. Boom. I'm like, I'm back in.
Nice.
So I couldn't record it really, but we actually had guys.
With no link death for your stream.
No.
Okay.
But we did have someone do it on my stream by himself, and so he came back and he was at the exact same spot. So from our eyes, it works.
Good.
I don't know how on the technical side, but on our it looked like
good.
We definitely want to get some more testing and make sure things are going smooth, especially for locked out areas. Survival mode's one of those. League halls, if you're in somebody else's league hall that you might not normally have access to, those kinds of things. Layers.
Okay. All right. What was / are the reasoning behind making Atomic a healing versus a troller or tank power set?
Well, so it really made sense for the serum power to be a tank, right?
Which I think is actually your answer to the Might and Magic, what everybody was kind of asking for. Really, in my
Mastery.
Eyes. Yeah, Mastery thing, yeah.
Might and Mastery or physical or whatever they call it, yes, it does. And the reason I like that, too, is because, how our superpowers work, there's activation, and then there's a duration.
Yeah.
And it just makes a lot of sense to really feel more immersive for a representation of a physical power set as opposed to, like, I'm going to activate my, knock you down the block power, and then I can't do it again for a certain amount of time. It just, I don't know. Then it starts getting into these weird feelings of like, why am I fatigued? Why can't I lift up the bus now? It doesn't feel very Superman in that way. So we went more with that, kind of Bane angle for it. And so that took up the tank slot, and we had the controller one slotted already. There was another power we were actually talking about to put in that healing slot. Mm-hmm. And it is much requested. We are not idiots. We are not deaf. We hear what's going on. However, we don't want to put a power in the game that we can't fully represent, that we are, unsure we can pull off as far as the, representation of it with effects go.
Yeah.
All right? And so if we need more R&D, then we need to take that a little longer. We'd rather slub something else into the slot. Now, Atomic's a very popular power as well that's been much requested. People are assuming, it should be a tank power. Well, that's just a random decision you're making, to be honest with you. But yes, you can find a character where it's Atomic and he feels like a tank. Well, you can find one that looks like a controller, too. And you can find one that actually represents like a healer, or at least self-healing, right?
Right.
So Firestorm, as an example, we're kind of doing that. But with our exobytes, where Brainiac is taking the powers from people, and that's how you're granting your power, and you're getting it from these exobytes, we're actually targeting a particular part of it, which is Firestorm's ability to heal himself. Okay? Which he does have. He can regenerate his cells. He can do all kinds of cellular manipulation on himself. If he tries to do it on somebody else or some other organic material, he destroys it. Yeah. So what we need so obviously that doesn't work for a healing power. So what we did is we took the concept of exobytes, draining out and targeting certain aspects of an iconic character's powers, and then granting those and bestowing those on one of the player characters, and we just targeted that aspect that he can do that to himself and projected it out to other people. So it is going to be very cool. It will be very unique. It's going to have kind of radioactive,
I cannot wait for the animation
powers,
to say
maybe some stuff that has to do with chain reaction, either from combos or power interactions or something like that. But it's going to be a very cool, power, and it will feel unique. It will look unique. It certainly isn't the Atomic that we were showing in pre-alpha.
Yeah.
And maybe we need to rebrand the name, and call it something else, like regeneration or cellular or radiation or something. I don't know. We could certainly, these names are TBD right now. We haven't even gotten them approved by WB necessarily, so it's possible they're going to change in the end.
Okay. Let's see. Wonder if Sidekick customization will be MOT bound, returns to default if you don't top off the generator. Just speculating.
Yeah, it's a speculation, and if I gave you an answer, it would be speculation on top of speculation. So, ultimately, we want to be able to customize your Sidekick, take advantage of the myriad styles that we have in the game, and allow you to apply that to your little guy.
All right.
Or gal.
And I think I actually have one more. I just got to go to a different screen. Because
Flipping between different screens.
I have. This is actually one that came up this morning from Draconis on Skype. He's also popular on the forums as well. Gotta see if I can find that screenshot that I did. And gotta go through all the screenshots of all the panels I did today. There's all of those. And holy crap, there's actually a lot more than I thought. And it looks like I cannot. Oh, there it is. I found it. Yay. So I actually go big for this. Trex, if you get this while you're at SOE Live, can you ask them not to give up on the bases? The reason is they don't sell very well is because they are overpriced. The way we get base items is kind of random and hardly fits anything, and some of them...
Like layer themes?
Like the tech layer, not only does it barely have stuff for it, it's just bugged.
Go. I got your answer.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
No, so, look, bases were only really partially implemented up until the final release of League Halls, okay? Mm-hmm. So the base system was supposed to really incorporate many different things. The player layer, the amenities that go in the layer, armories that go in that layer, the teleporters that were supposed to go in that layer for fast travel, and the connection of all that fed up to the League Hall, okay? Yeah. That has all just recently got into place since the 2 years ago where we announced all of these features coming to the game.
Okay.
So when base layers first came out, we had these various themes. We had amenities going in, but there was really no reason to have multiple bases. There is now. Amenities were just in the collections. Some of them were very hard to get. We were thinking we would have secondary drivers to the economy, that people would be interested in these things, but they were just too hard to find. Yeah. Finally we realized we just need to make that more accessible to people. And we wanted to just say, hey, look, you can earn it in the game, okay, if you want to go about earning it in the game. Yeah. But if you want to just shortcut that, we're going to just put it on the marketplace for you. So now you can just buy the amenities outright. Soon you're actually going to see base item packs coming to the marketplace as well. Yeah. Okay, so that we're going to actually start selling the sets of the packages that you want, so you can get the specific look that you need in your layer to get that kind of look that you're hoping for. That will, of course, probably interest people in buying different styles and themes of the layers, because now you buy that Eastern style and you don't just get a pile of dirt with a shovel in it and a garbage bag and this high-tech, case over here and this giant, red factory light with a fan on the wall, and none of that fits the Eastern layer. Why do I care about this? Why did I buy the Eastern layer? Now you can be like, I can buy the Eastern layer and all these dynasty stats of stuff up here, and I can put them in my Eastern layer, or I can buy these statues and stick them in my Eastern layer. So I think that once all those things start coming together, as far as the vanity aspect of the layer system goes, that you'll see us re-examining the kind of resources we might put to bear on future themes and stuff like that. To be honest with you, right now the environment team is focused on doing new variations of the halls. We have an undersea one coming that will actually be an entirely new environment set. It'll be the same layout as the original hall, but it'll actually have full new geometry that's appropriate to an underwater layer. It's really cool. Man. And you'll be able to choose if you want to be at a reef or a deep sea trench. So it really neat stuff. And right now we're aping the space base, the space hall, which is your watchtower, and we're doing the undersea hall, which in our game is your Hall of Doom. Right. And from there, we'll see where we go.
All right. Well,
remote locations are in abundance in our heads of what we could do for other league halls.
I just thought about my base being in Kandak. I really want to go to Kandak now.
So a desert.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Desert. So there you go. Thank you all for tweeting your questions out. I'm really happy I was actually be able to answer them all. Or we had one pass?
I think it was a joke too, right?
So thank you all so much, and
Thanks.
thanks Jens Anderson, aka Spittle, and Josh Hackney,
Thanks, guys.
AKA Pez Fedora.
Pez Fedora.
There you go.
I like fedoras. Good job. So be sure to take a look at all the videos from SOE Live, from DCUO panels. They've been just a tremendous fun, and we want to thank you guys for inviting us out and also putting on some great panels. They have been some really great stuff, and we're actually waiting for to go into the hindsight 2020. You want to give a little?
Yes.
Oh man,
this is where we flog ourselves for not, accounting for every detail or loophole that the players are going to find with things, and sort of just reflecting back on what our intentions were for certain systems, and then how well they went. It's not it's informative and not necessarily sunshines and rainbows, but these are the realities that you work under in game development, and these are toys, and very sophisticated toys.
Nice.
And sometimes you bend that action figure's leg a certain way and it snaps, and you're like, oh no, I need some glue.
All right, well, guys, head on to the forums. Get your constructive feedback going on with all the stuff that's on test server right now. Game Update 40 is there, and we'll see you guys next time.